Hello again. In this video, I'm going to go over this homework problem from 2.4. And in this homework problem, we're supposed to find the output values for these given input values for this particular function here. And then after we fill in the table for the output values, then we're supposed to find the limit of this function as x gets closer to 1. Okay, so I'm going to show you how you can do this on the calculator. So the first thing you want to go is to the y equals button here. And then we're going to enter the function in. Now I'm going to put parentheses around this top part. So open parentheses, and then the x button is right here. So x plus 2, and then close parentheses, and then divide by, and that's the reason I had put parentheses around this, because I want to divide by all of x plus 2. So make sure you put parentheses around that. And then divide by this bottom part. And now I'm going to put parentheses around x minus 1. And then close the parentheses. And then you can square that by just pressing this button here. Okay, and so now after you've entered the function into the calculator, you want to go to this calc button. Actually, before you go to the calc button, you should check your window. So press the window button. And you may have to adjust your window here for your x values and your y values. So notice I've got my x minimum at 0 and my maximum at 2. And that contains all the x values that we're going to put in to the calculator. So again, notice I'm going from 0 to 2, but I'm only entering values between 0 and 2. And then I'm scaling the x-axis by 1. Basically what that does is every unit, it creates a tick mark on the x-axis. Now the y minimum, I'm going from 0 to 400 million. And I'm doing that because the output values are going to be within that range. Now, you may have to play with this some. Here we know what the answers are going to be, but obviously when you do this on your homework, you're not going to know the answers up front. So you may want to do one or two of these just to get a sense of what the numbers might look like. In this case, these numbers get very, very large, so you may want to check one of these higher values to see how high this goes. But I'm cutting it off at 400 million because I know it only goes up to 300 million. And then, of course, the minimum is at 0 because the smallest number here appears to be about 290. Okay, but you may have to adjust this this range for your y values. Okay, so you may have to play with that a little bit to get it to work out. And then I just made the scale, the y scale, 1,000,000 here. And again, that's not that important in this case. It just tells you how many units it will go before it puts down a tick mark. Okay, so once you've adjusted the window, then you want to go to this calc button, which is a second feature button. So press this button first, and then calc. And then it shows you this menu, and the very first one is the one we want. So select value and press enter. And then it will prompt you for the x value. And so the first one I'm going to put in here is 1.1. And then press enter. And then you can see the corresponding y value, the output is 310 for this particular input value. And so that's the first number here. Okay, and then you can just continue to do this. Go back to calc, and then select value, and then just enter in the next value. The input value for this one is 1.01. And then press enter, and you get 30,100 out. Okay, and so you can do that for all 8 of these different values and enter them into the table. Again, just make sure your window contains the x values that you're putting in and also the y values that are coming out. Okay, and so then once you've done that, we have to determine what the two-sided limit of this function is as x gets closer to 1. And of course, you can see as x is getting closer to 1 from the positive side of 1, you can see that the y values are getting larger and larger. And so it appears to be heading towards infinity. Likewise, as x gets close to 1 from the negative side of 1, you can see that the y values are getting larger and larger. They're heading towards infinity as well. And so that means the two-sided limit is also heading towards infinity because the left side and the right side limit are heading towards infinity. Okay, so the two-sided limit here would be equal to infinity as well. Okay, so I hope you found this video helpful, and I'll continue to do some problems from chapter 2, and hopefully you'll get a chance to look at some of those as well. Bye-bye.